Hey guys, it's me. I want to give you an in-depth review of some of the Cubic cards. So first we start again with Dusha, the Cubic Vessel. Like I said in the previous video, this card is the main engine, the main monster for the entire deck. Basically, its effect is if it's normal or a special summon, you can send one Cubic card to the graveyard, and in most cases it's Cubic Karma or Cubic Wave, but you can also use Unification of Cubic Lords. Dusha is really important. Without Dusha you can't play Cubics. Dusha wasn't released in the Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack. I guess it was released later on in a special edition, but anyways, it's awesome. Its artwork, I just love it, its second effect isn't as good as its first, but still viable. You can boost his attack by 200 if you need to, in your round or your opponent's turn. For each different Cubic monster in the graveyard, he gains 200 attack until the end of the turn. In most cases, it's not as much, 200 to 400 points. But anyways, still a decent effect. So next one, again, Visham, the Cubic Seed. Visham is awesome. He can't be destroyed by battle, and if you face an opponent's monster by getting attacked or attack, doesn't matter, you can place it in a spawn trap cut zone and put a Cubic counter on your opponent's monster, and monsters with Cubic counters can attack and their effects are negated. So that is pretty awesome. That's really awesome. Also, Visham, you need for most of the combinations for the other Cubic monsters, for example, Indoria, Doom or Buster Grundle. If they send to the graveyard from the field, you can summon 2 to 3 Visham Cubic Seeds from the graveyard or deck, and that's pretty awesome. Well, next one we have Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. This is the main boss monster of the main deck. Basically, his effect is he's unaffected by activated effects from your opponent's monster whose attacker 3000 or less. That's pretty amazing. He has no protection against spell trap cards, but you can use Forbidden Lance, for example, to make him almost undestroyable. If he destroys a monster by battle, he can attack a second time, and at the end of the turn each player take 3000 damage, burn damage. In some scenarios, in some cases, that is not as good as it sounds, because mostly it kills yourself. Now when you play against Trickster, almost in every scenario you have less life points than your opponent, and they give you give you a shot. So this monster can kill yourself, so sometimes really it is better to go for another Cubic monster. I show you guys right now, and this is Buster Grundle. First, in the first few plays I had no use for this card, but this card is really amazing, because you have to tribute 3 Cubic monsters and to special summon him, and his effect is he can attack 3 times. So that is really amazing. And if he gets destroyed by battle or card effect, you can summon 3 of the Vishams from the deck or graveyard. This one. So yeah, and in some scenarios it's really better to go for him than for Crimson Nova, because Crimson Nova really gonna kill you if you're not careful. Next one is Indoria Doom. He's has almost the same effect than Buster Grundle. If he destroyed by battle card effect, you can summon 3 of the Cubic Seeds. I personally love his artwork. It's really amazing. This is an ultra rare. I really prefer it over Golder or the Gold Secretor like Dusha, even though this one looks good. Yeah, I love it. I love all the cubics. This one I really never played. I never summoned this ordinary. I just summoned him with the effect of unification of the cubic lords, because if he gets destroyed, I can summon the cubic seeds. These three guys are just names. They're just names. You don't have any use for them. Some of them can attack twice, and also if they get destroyed by battle, you can summon Vishams, cubic seeds. In most scenarios, you don't want to trip it off some of your cubic monsters for this guy. So they're just names, sadly. Next one, we have Cubic Karma. Like I said in the previous deck profile video, this is the main card of the deck. This and Dusha, they work together really amazing. If you activate or if you summon Dusha, you almost always send Cubic Karma to the graveyard. Almost always. If you send it to graveyard via Dusha or Foolish Burial Goods, you can banish this card and take any cubic card from your deck to your hand, and that is pretty amazing. Cubic monsters. And if you go second and you play this cubic deck, you will have probably two of them in one run to the graveyard. You have to do, if it's possible, with a Dusha and with the Foolish Burial Goods, because you almost in your start hand have always 2 to 3 cubics, and if you use this combination, you almost always get out a Crimson Nova, really, and that's the main goal. Its first effect is also really amazing. You can target any cubic monster except the cubic seed, and it gains 800 attack for each cubic seed you send to graveyard from deck or your hand. And this card remains on the field if you use it that way. Yeah, if the cubic seed gets special summoned by any other card effect, you can send this to the graveyard, or you use Twin Twister and destroy it by yourself. If you, for example, have Crimson Nova on the field, use Cubic Karma and send 3 of the Vishams to the graveyard, you have a pretty decent attack boost by 2,400 points. And that is pretty amazing for itself. These guys. If you use it away, your Crimson Nova has 5,400 attack. That's pretty amazing, but if you use Cubic Wave, you can double his attack. So he's at almost 12,000 attack, and that is no TK. If your opponent has nothing to protect him, that's it. You can easily finish off your opponent, and you can use Cubic Wave. For example, you can use it 2 times. I saw some guys on YouTube, they used it 2 times, so they boost Crimson Nova to 24,000. That's ridiculous. That's awesome, just awesome. And Cubic Wave has a really good second effect. If it's on a graveyard, you can banish it with any amount of cubic monsters and put cubic counters on your opponent's monsters. Monsters with cubic counters can attack, and their effects are negated. That's pretty good. Next one, we have Unification of Cubic Lords. This card is your main polymerization for Trinity Nova, but it has a second effect if it's on a graveyard. And a cubic monster gets destroyed by battle or card effect, doesn't matter. You can summon 1 cubic monster level 4 or lower and ignoring its summoning conditions. And yeah, that's pretty amazing, because you can do combinations there. Still, if you summon, for example, if you summon Buster Grundle this way, its attack is 0. Yeah, its attack is 0, but you can still use Cubic Karma to boost its attack up to 2400, and still can use Cubic Wave to double its attack. So it has about 4800, and that is enough for most scenarios. And he can attack 3 times. 3 times 4800 attack is amazing. This is a really good combination. That's a way you can use it, because if you use Unification of Cubic Lords to summon Buster Grundle and you boost its attack, and for example you attack or he gets destroyed by card effect, you can again summon these Cubic Seeds. And yeah, and in the next turn, if you have Indoria Doom, you can summon him ordinary. So if you summon him ordinary, he has 2400 attack, and yeah, it's almost the same effect as Buster Grundle, except he can't attack 3 times. But doesn't matter. He is the best looking cubic monster in my opinion. Yeah. And last but not least, this guy, Trinity Nova. Trinity Nova is the main boss monster, and almost it is the only monster in your extra deck. I tried to play Link monsters like Tri-Gate Wizard or Decode Talker, but I never really had any use for them, because you don't want to summon, you don't want to tribute off your cubic monsters, no matter if it's Dusha or Vijam or Crimson Nova or whatever. You don't want to tribute them off for some Link monsters you have no use for, because they are amazing. This is the main engine for the deck, and if you tribute them off, you have no use for Decode Talker or Tri-Gate Wizard or whatever, because most of the cubic monster you just can't special summon without any special conditions. For example, if you have Indoria Doom, you never tribute off him for a Link monster, because you can't bring him back. You can't. There's no way. He's a light monster, so you can't bring him back with a recurring nightmare. So he's dead. If he's gone, he's dead. Back to Trinity Nova. Trinity Nova is amazing. It's the main boss monster. It has 4500 attack. It is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, and can't be destroyed by them. That is amazing. You know, I had a scenario when I summoned him with Unification of Cubic Lords, and yeah, he was sent back to the deck. I guess it was some Mirror Force. So if it's in card effect that doesn't target him and doesn't destroy him, yeah, he's bad. He's bad at that. But anyways, he can't be destroyed by card effects. He can't be targeted by card effects, and if you attack, you can halve your opponent's life points, and that is amazing. Because just for an example, if your opponent has 8,000 life points and is still full, you attack, you halve his life points to 4,000, and he can attack again if he destroys a monster. So if you summon him, you almost win in almost every scenario. He's a beast. He's really a beast. 2 or 3 times, doesn't matter, because you will never summon him even at least once, so it's enough to play him 1 time or 2 times. But I play Playset just because I love him, you know. You can try some Link stuff in this deck. Personally, I really don't see any use right now. Maybe in the future there are some cards that work together with the cubics well, but right now it doesn't. It just isn't the case, you know. The problem is I don't believe the cubics will get support in the future, because this is a movie specific archetype that was released in 2016, and I don't believe they will get any support in the future unless there is a second movie of Dark Side of the Dimension. I don't believe that. So you can just make the cubics better by adding generic stuff. And generic stuff, for example, generic stuff like Foolish Burial Goods. This was released, I believe, in later 2016, and this is amazing because you can send Cubic Karma or Cubic Wave to the graveyard and trigger its effect. This is some generic stuff. I thought first I had no use for it, because this one is out of the Lair of Darkness structure deck, but in Cubic deck it's awesome. It's really awesome. I also played a Foolish Burial, the standard version, to send one monster to the graveyard. I played one time, but I never had any use for it because I had no advantage when I put some of my cubic monsters to the graveyard. Simple. Recurring Nightmare I play actually only 2 times because it's amazing. You can target 2 cubic monsters with 0 defense, and they have to be a dark attribute. Doesn't matter. You can bring them back. Soul Charge 1 time, because sometimes it really can save your ass. For example, if you have 2 or 3 douches on your graveyard and Visham, you can bring them back and summon them off for Buster Grundle or Indoria Doom. Doesn't matter. Summon the Monk is great. In most deck profiles, Summon the Monk is... there are 2 copies of this in the deck. I personally don't like him as much. I really never use him. In let's say in a 10 duels in a row, I summon him 2 to 3 times, because actually sometimes I don't want to get I don't want to lose some of my spell cards. You know, main targets for Summon a Monk, and the only targets you really wanna go for it, is Cubic Karma and Cubic Wave, because you have really advantages when these 2 are on the graveyard. But for example, if you have Foolish Burial Goods in your hand, or Cosmic Cyclone, well, let's say this is Twin Twister, because I actually play 2 copies of Twin Twister, but I don't have it as a real card. Or you have this one, or 1/1, or Soul Charge in your hand. You don't want to lose any of these cards just to summon a Dusha, if you have no other options. Because if you don't have a Dusha on the field, you have to do that. But you don't want to get rid of these cards. So basically, it's best if you summon him, activate its effect, and go for a Cubic Karma or a Cubic Wave, because you need this one, these 2, you need them on a graveyard. That's the reason why you play Foolish Burial Goods. For the other traps, we have Cubic Unification, Cubic Mandala, and Cubic Rebirth. These cards are good in some scenarios, but not as good as I wish they are. So this one, basically its effect is when your monster attacks you directly, you can target the attacking monster. Your opponent summons as much monsters with the same name from his deck or graveyard as possible in attack position. Their attack goes to 0, and they can attack. There's a cubic counter on, and their effects are negated. Yeah, I guess in 2016 probably that was a good effect, but right now the problem is I had that scenario several times. If you use this in, for example, you play against Blue Eyes, and or it doesn't matter against which deck, if your opponent summons, for example, 3 Blue Eyes, yeah, they can attack, their effects are negated, they have no effects at all. But the problem is he can still use them for link summon. So you bring, or you give your opponent monsters he can use for Xyz, for link summon, so you have no advantage of this. Because the basic idea of this card was you just bring back monsters to your opponent and they're useless. But he can tribute them off for card effects, for monsters. He can use them for a link summon, he can use them for Xyz, for a synchro. Doesn't matter. You know, you give your opponent monsters, you give him stuff he can use. That's not as good. So in my actual deck profile on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, I put it out because I really had no use for it. It is a protection, yeah, it is, because your opponent can attack. And also, if your opponent controls a monster with the cubic counter on, all effects of this monster are negated. But you know, if you use his monster for link summoning, yeah, it's useless. Cubic Mandala almost has the same effect. If you control a cubic monster, and you have to control a cubic monster, and if you destroy some monsters from your opponent, you can activate this one and your opponent summon all the destroyed monsters back to the field, and the rest is the same effect like the cubic rebirth. Zero attack, can't attack, effects are negated, but still he can use them for link summoning, Xyz, synchro, whatever. So it's not as good. Well, that's it for now. I love the cubics, and that's the reason why I make this video, is why I play cubics at all. Because for me they are amazing. They are the reason why I returned to Yu-Gi-Oh! A few months ago. Because I stopped playing, I believe in 2012 or 2013, I don't remember exactly. And I really love them. I know they're not meta relevant, and they probably never will be unless they get support, what I don't believe. So basically that's it. These are the main cubic cards and their effects, and they're amazing. Just try them out, and if you have any ideas to make cubics stronger, make cubics great, just let me know in the comments below. That's it. Thank you guys.